If you think being a soft girl means that you can't be ambitious and successful, then you've been lied to. Let me explain how you can get more done in less time without the burnout. Because the most productive version of myself wasn't the one that was hustling for 12 hours. It was the one who was soft, who was regulated, who got stuff done in a short amount of time, and I'm gonna show you how. Hi babes, if you're new here, I'm Alexis Alize, and I am all things feminine energy, self-development, personal growth, and just helping you become the best version of yourself. So if you're into content like that, make sure you like and subscribe. I would love to have you in this community, sister. Okay, a little backstory on me is I used to think being productive meant grinding, hustling so hard, forcing everything, and always having to prove myself, proving that I'm the best, proving that I can do this. Because I just knew the harder I worked, the more successful I would be. But honestly, girl, that left me exhausted, dysregulated, burnt out, and honestly, not even really that successful. But everything changed when I learned how to work from my feminine energy and not against it. And today I'm gonna break down how soft girls stay productive, successful, and mentally sane. Okay, point number one, soft girls work with their energy and not against it. Hustle culture teaches you to push through even when you're tired. It teaches you to ignore your body and force productivity at all times. When honestly, that right there is a masculine trait, okay? Leave that to the men. You as a woman, your energy fluctuates through the day, even through the month. So when you're actually pushing and hustling all the time, all that does is create resistance and burnout. And one of the best things I've learned about being a successful woman and her feminine energy is cycle syncing. Oh my gosh, I did not know how important it was to cycle sync, but now that I do it, I am my most productive even on my lazy days. And even with cycle syncing, pay attention to your body because being successful in your feminine energy might look different for different women. Like I noticed with me, my most productive days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A lot of the time, my Thursdays and Fridays, I like to be as chill as possible when it gets closer to the weekend. For some reason, when Monday hits and Tuesday hits, I just have a rush of energy ready to tackle on my days. But I've learned that from paying attention to my body. And I used to always get up at 5 a.m. and straight go to the gym when honestly that left me tired before my day even started. So I now wake up and meditate and journal and actually read a couple chapters of a book before I start my day, and that helps me ease into my day. Then afterwards, I do my workout and then I hit my first work block. I started to pay attention to my body and notice when I had the most energy and use that time frame to get the most work done. Because honestly, you don't need a full 8-hour days to be productive. You just need a good 3-hour work block. And you can have a couple work blocks in your day. You just need to structure it when your body feels most productive. I know that there's a lot of women who feel even most productive in the evening. So they might do a lot of their other tasks during the day and then do a lot of their harder tasks in the evening. Like I said earlier, this can look different from different type of women. And then also when you're cycle syncing, it's gonna make a big difference in your life. Sometimes I would be super productive, feeling on top of the world and my boss girl energy. And other days I will feel like a lazy couch potato. And I never understood why. I'm like, oh my gosh, like just last week I was on top of the world and now I don't even feel like doing my workout. I just want to go for a walk. I don't feel like doing so much work. Let me just do the bare minimum. So when I'm in my luteal phase, like the week before my period, I feel like I need to do the bare minimum of everything. I don't want to do a hardcore workout. Even when I'm trying to force my body to do a hardcore workout, I notice that I can't lift as strong. I notice that I can't run as long. And I used to beat myself up about it because I'm just like, just last week I did 3 miles. Why today am I struggling to do 1.5? But instead, I'm giving myself grace because I am a woman and I operate on a 28-day cycle. So what I was doing last week isn't my capacity this week. And you as a woman have to understand that. Give yourself grace, Miss Girl. So during my luteal phase, the week before my period, that is when I do the bare minimum, okay? I go for my walks. I do a really light yoga. I make sure that I get all the heavy work that I need to get done before that week, okay? So I can actually rest and not feel bad about it. Yes, I will still do some work, get some stuff done, but I like to take my time with it. You guys know that I love a good slow morning routine, but during my luteal phase, oh baby, it's even slower. And during my ovulation week, the week after my period, I feel on top of the world. This is when I am the most creative, okay? This is when I am writing down all my ideas, and honestly, this is when I am executing most of them as well. This is when I feel on fire. This is when I am pushing hard in the gym. I am pushing myself to new goals, to new heights. I'm telling you, Miss Girl, as a woman, you need to learn how to work with your body, work with your energy instead of working against it. Point number 2 is soft girls prioritize. Because by now we've learned that not everything deserves our energy. Trying to do everything actually leads to you doing nothing well. Trying to be superwoman, trying to do everything yourself is keeping you busy, not productive. And trust me, there is a difference. I used to always think that I'm being busy and being productive because I'm running around like some squirrel with her head cut off. When at the end of the week, I still felt like I had so much that I didn't do. But here's the truth. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about focusing on what matters, what's actually going to move the needle in your favor. And I promise you, 80% of the things that you're doing isn't even moving the needle in your favor, okay? That small 20% of what you're doing is actually what's moving the needle in your favor. It's what's actually getting you closer to your goals. That's what you need to focus on to be productive. And it's crazy because I know this and I love that I'm always reminded about this in any self-help book that I'm reading, and I'm currently reading 10x is better than 2x, and it reiterates this so much. It always talks about focusing on that 20%, because if you really want to be better, if you really want to grow, if you really want to be the best version of yourself, focus on the things that matter and honestly cut out all the other distractions. And this can be in your career, in your relationship, even if you're growing a business. What I like to do to make sure that I am productive and not busy is on Sunday, I like to list my top 3, every now and then maybe 5 if it's an extremely busy week. And most of the time during my ovulation phase, I would list 5, but 3 to 5 priorities for the week. Not 10, not 20, Miss Girl, because I know you. I know how y'all girls be. Trust me, I used to be one of them. I used to have like 15 things I needed to get done this week. And I was trying to get done all 15 that I would only, most of the time, get done 2 correctly. So again, not 20, not 10, just start with 3. 3 things that are highly important. Everything else is secondary, and guess what? It gets deleted. Ooh! I know how hard that is gonna be because I'm a list girly. Like, I make a list for everything, for my groceries, like physically a list. And making a list of all the things that I need to do in my notepad, in my phone, that list be so long, but I'm always making sure to go back and delete what isn't a priority, what isn't going to move the needle in my favor, what isn't going to get me to the next step. And I'm not saying delete it forever. It can be put off to another time when you have extra time. Maybe you have done all the things that you need to get done by Thursday, and Friday you might have some extra time to get some extra stuff done. Or honestly, maybe it can be put off until next week, maybe even next month. Baby girl, a soft girl protects her priorities fiercely, because as a soft girl, we're not doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. That extra stuff is what's gonna have you burnt out, exhausted, and tired. And we are operating from a full cup, not an empty cup, so we are not depleting ourselves. We are not spreading ourselves too thin. We are only doing the things that are mandatory and our top priorities. For example, of course I have a list of 10 things that I wanted to get done this week, but on my top priority list, I have to film 2 YouTube videos and to submit a campaign for a brand. Everything else is secondary. And it really helps once you start getting to the point in your life where you are able to delegate. I'm telling you, delegating really helps me. I have a housekeeper who comes, I have somebody who washes my car, delegating other things so I can free up my time and really focus on the things that I really want to focus on. Point number 3 is soft girls, they build in rest and self-love before they need it. They don't wait until they're exhausted to rest. They don't wait until they've already depleted themselves to try to take care of themselves. They don't wait until their cup is empty to try to fill it back up. As we are pouring out, we are pouring in. Because most people only rest when they feel burnt out, and then they start to feel guilty about it. But when you start making rest and self-care a priority, it becomes a part of your routine. It becomes a non-negotiable. Again, we are different from men, okay? Us as women, we are emotional creatures and we are creative beings. And being well rested is a strategy. It allows you to stay regulated with your emotions. It allows you to help process your emotions. It allows you to stay creative and in your creative flow, and it allows you to be effective long term. And I mean this again in any area of your life. Trust me, I am a business owner and I'm also a single mother. Now that I have been more rested and I prioritize my self-love and my self-care and my rest, I am no longer easily frustrated being a mother. I have more patience and I'm more effective in motherhood and in my career, and honestly, even in my social life. The same way you schedule those meetings for work, the same way you schedule that hair appointment and those nail appointments, make sure you are also scheduling some self-love and some rest, girl. And rest doesn't always mean sleep. Yes, we want you to get your proper rest, okay? Your beauty rest, 8 hours of sleep, okay? That right there, that's the bare minimum, Miss Girl. But I'm also talking about scheduling the rest throughout the day, maybe like a 5-minute walk, maybe taking some time out and reading a couple chapters in your book, stretching, stepping outside, or honestly, even if it's just sitting down and closing your eyes for 5 minutes. Take the rest as you need. And along with those micro rests, make sure you're also including the macro rest. Every now and then, especially during my luteal phase, I love to take a full day off. No work, no nothing. And honestly, I kind of like do this like every 2 weeks. I'm talking about no productivity, no nothing. And I don't feel guilty about it because I've already prioritized and did most of my scheduling for my content or whatever when I was in my ovulation phase. And that's why I said it's so important to cycle sync and use your energy to your advantage. When you are feeling on top of the world, make sure you are using all of that energy to get the most done. And I like to use that energy so I can get so much done where even during my luteal phase or these days where I'm just taking off, where I'm not doing any work, I can rest in peace because I've already done the work. I've already scheduled everything out so I can have more rest days. And every now and then, Miss Girl, sometimes we may need a whole week off. It's crazy because I'm actually about to go to Bali next week and I am taking a full 10 days off of work. I have busted my ass this past 8 months, okay? And like I said, I've taken full days off, okay? Amazing, loved them. But now it is time for me to take a little bit more, okay? So I'm taking a full 10 days off. I've already told my management team, like when I say I am clocking out, I am clocking out, okay? Don't call me, don't, hit me in the chat, don't Slack me. I will be clocked out and will be enjoying myself. And again, a lot of people, they wait until they're burnt out to start to try to rest. I recommend noticing when something is starting to feel forced. Maybe like you're trying to come up with a solution. Maybe you don't feel like working, but you're trying to push through. Sometimes pushing through, even when you don't feel like it, will get you in the mood to work. You'll be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead and get it done. But sometimes even pushing through doesn't work and you're still like, I just can't do it. Notice that and take a break. Take a minute, take a rest, sister, because that is your cue to pause, not push harder. Point number 4 is real soft girls, they use systems so they don't have to think or work so hard. And you know that saying, work smarter, not harder? Yeah, that was made for us. Understand that decision fatigue drains you before you even start working. Constantly trying to figure out what to do next easily kills the momentum. So you want to have systems that create ease, because when you automate your decisions, you're freeing up space in your mind and in your body for what actually matters. So for me, some of these systems look like picking out my gym outfit the night before and already having the videos that I'm going to film already planned out. Like I literally like to plan my day ahead of time. So I know that I'm going to the gym. I already know what I'm wearing. I already know what I'm going to eat for breakfast. So I'm not opening the fridge, staring at the fridge. Maybe I need to go order out to eat. No. Decision fatigue will literally kill your momentum and actually slow you down and make you less productive. But when you already know what you're gonna do, or what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna film, what you're gonna work on ahead of time, your day is gonna run so smoothly. So I schedule in my meditation and my journal in the morning, and then I also schedule in my workout block where I'm gonna do my yoga, where I'm gonna do my workout, and then I know that I'll be home by 10, and from 10 and 11, that's when I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna shower. And then from 11 to 2 p.m., that is my work block. And I'm not scrambling looking at, oh my gosh, what do I gotta get done today? Because I've already have a list of my top priorities for work that day. And another thing that really works for me, sister, especially if you are a content creator, a beauty influencer, or just an influencer in general, or even a business owner, is to have themed days. this right here changed my productivity to the max. And what I mean by like having theme days, like for instance, Mondays and Fridays are my editing days. Those are days where I am doing all my editing, okay? Whether that's for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, even if it's for brand campaigns, those are the days that I do the most editing, especially because it requires different brain energy for creating a video versus editing. And sometimes when you're switching your brain between two different types of things, it actually depletes your energy and makes you less productive. So instead, have a whole day where you're focusing on similar tasks. So Mondays are like my admin days. I'll look at emails, do editing, all of that type of stuff. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they are my filming days. Today is actually Tuesday. So I film my YouTube videos, I film my makeup videos, I film my Instagram videos, TikToks, any brand collabs, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Especially because like once I'm in that creative mode, it's like I notice that I can just keep going. Like there are some days where I literally am in a creative mode where I done filmed 8 to 12 videos easily, effortlessly. And that's because I stayed in that creative flow and I didn't just started filming and then started editing. I didn't have to shift my brain to another whole task. I just kept the momentum in that same task. So like today, I filmed a whole makeup tutorial on this look. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, okay? That is where I do like a lot of my makeup tutorials and my beauty hacks. But also let me know in the comments if you want to see that on YouTube, sister, because I will definitely make some videos for y'all. Okay, so Mondays are more so my admin and editing days. Tuesday and Wednesdays are my filming days, my creative flow days. Thursdays is pretty open because sometimes I might have to shoot another video for another campaign. This is like, Thursday is like my day to catch up on anything that I need to do. Or sometimes if I don't have anything to do, then Thursdays are also like my relax days. I don't do so much. I might do some research on what trends I want to do or what type of videos that I want to do. Or I actually might even use Thursdays to schedule out my schedule for my next week. And then Fridays again are my editing days, just if there was anything left over that I didn't finish. And so maybe I did have to film something else on Thursday, I will go ahead and edit that Thursday. And having this set schedule like this, again, at least having one day that gives you some flexibility. Again, Thursdays are my flexible days. This makes me so much more productive and I'm actually able to take on more partnerships. I'm actually able to get more done and push out more content. Okay, point number 5 is that soft girls understand that doing less actually means that you are achieving more. As I touched on earlier, identify the 20% of your actions that's creating the 80% of your results. And then cutting or delegating everything else. Like for me, what is going to get me to the next level is filming. So I even have an editor that I work with and she'll help me edit my YouTube videos, even my Instagram videos, even sometimes my campaign videos, because sometimes editing can take a while. It can take hours, even days. And like I said, sometimes I can literally be in a creative flow state and I just created 12 videos in one day. Now, if I was to try to edit those all myself, I would be spending the next 3 or 4 days or the next week trying to edit those. So I prioritize me filming, me being in front of the camera, me jotting down new ideas, creating new ideas for filming on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I focus on being creative. Everything else I delegate. And honestly, this was the same when I had a business. When I was trying to do it all, when I was running my 7-figure business and I was doing everything myself, I just felt like I wasn't getting enough done no matter how many hours were in a day. Like no matter if I worked literally 14 hours straight, it still felt like I wasn't getting enough done. And then I started to delegate. I noticed again what I was good at. And what I was good at was honestly me creating the content for my brand. At one point, I tried to hire UGC creators. I've tried to delegate everything else. And then maybe I just focus on the back end. But no, what moved the needle in my favor, what really made my business successful was when I focused on my marketing and me creating the content, and then delegated everything else. I delegated people doing the customer service, people, replying to my inbox, people replying to emails. I even delegate packing orders. I stopped packing orders just so I could focus on what was really going to grow my business. And that right there alone is what really started to take my business to the next level, because when I was trying to pack orders, and do customer service, I didn't have enough time to actually film the content that was actually growing my business. A soft girl tip is to measure success by the impact, not by the hours. And I even did this when trying to grow my channels before. I was trying to post on Instagram, post on TikTok. When Lemon 8 was out, I'm posting on Lemon 8. I'm trying to post on Pinterest. I'm trying to post on LinkedIn and YouTube and everything. And I just felt so scattered and none of my platforms were really growing. But when I locked in and focused on just Instagram and TikTok, that is when my pages started growing. That is when I started to have a bigger impact on my audience. And honestly, that's when my vision and my message became way clearer. Point number 6 is soft girls protect their nervous system like it's their job. A regulated nervous system is honestly the foundation of being productive. If your mind is all over the place, then baby, you're gonna be all over the place. When you feel safe and when you think clearly, you make better decisions. And that's why I will always recommend having a soft girl morning routine. Like I mentioned earlier, when I would straight wake up and force myself to go to the gym, I felt like that my days would feel so tired and long, and I had to keep pushing myself through the day, which would leave me burnt out. But now that I start my mornings with softness, I wake up, I do my meditation, I have me a nice cup of tea while I do my journaling and I read my chapters of my book. It just really sets the tone for my day. It helps me ease into my day, even if I know the day is going to be super busy. Just having that soft girl morning routine really helps me ease into it and prepare for the day. And because I'm starting my day with ease instead of forcing, I just feel like I have so much energy to tackle my day and get things done. Also, make sure that you are creating a workspace that feels nourishing, that feels safe, whether you work from home or even if you go into the office. Your space is very important. And just like I like to have a soft girl morning routine, I also like to have a shutdown routine. This is to make sure that I am ending my work day and leaving it there and not carrying stress or anything from work into the evening or the next day. Last but not least, point number 7, soft girls celebrate progress, not just completion. A lot of people in this world, especially us boss babes, especially us ambitious women, for some reason we tend to only acknowledge ourselves when something is 100% complete. And if it's not, it automatically feels like a failure. When honestly, that is furthest from the truth. Celebrating those small wins is what's gonna keep you motivated, it's gonna help you keep you regulated, and it's gonna help you stay connected to your why. At the end of each day, write down 3 things that you accomplished today. Even if it was just, oh, I just started this thing. Even if you didn't finish it, even if you started something new, celebrate that and be proud of yourself for that. Because even the small steps and the small wins count. Acknowledge your effort, not just your outcomes. Even if you went for a walk when you told yourself that you was gonna go to the gym, but you woke up and maybe the gym just wasn't, what you felt like doing, but you still went for that walk. Celebrate and acknowledge that you showed up anyway. Even when you didn't feel like it, you still showed up for yourself. And sister girl, I'm proud of you for that. And you should be too. You are your worst critic. And when you really start to love yourself and appreciate yourself, you got to give yourself grace, Miss Girl. I mean, like, come on, we're just girls. I like to reward myself even for hitting small milestones. Even sometimes if I had a rough day, I'm talking about like everything just kept going wrong, but I just kept pushing anyway. Baby, at the end of that day, I'm taking myself out to eat because I pushed through. Good job, girl. Good job, girl. Even if you handled a situation better than the old version of yourself did, celebrate that. Celebrate all the small wins. You have to talk to yourself the same way that you would talk to your child or your best friend, with kindness and encouragement. I want you to remember, sister, that being soft doesn't mean not being productive. Being a soft girl means being strategic. It means being intentional. It means working with your body, with your energy, and not against it. It means building a life that you love without feeling burnt out to be successful. Because trust me, Miss Girl, you can reach all of those goals. You can do all of those things without feeling burnt out. If you're ready to stop forcing and start flowing, check out my Rich and Feminine Energy Masterclass, where I teach you what it truly means to be a woman in her feminine energy. It is a self-paced mentorship with over 40 videos walking you through how to rewire your nervous system and to take you out of survival mode and into your soft girl era. I'll leave the link to that in the description. And if this video resonated with you, sister, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments which productivity habit that you'll be letting go of. And until next time, I love you, and remember to stay classy, sassy, and a bit badassy. Bye.